Hey everybody, how's it going? It's the Crystal Flaffy, and today we're going to be talking about one of my absolute favorite mons in the game. I absolutely love Succubus. Dude, I can't. Like, she's such an amazing mon. Anyway, we're gonna jump right into it without hesitation, because that's how she would want it. If you know what I mean. Anyway. Here's Evo 1, so adorable. Evo 2, still cute. And Evo 3, oh dude, like, come on. You can't look at that and tell me you don't like it. Anyway, I really like the variant more though. Well, actually I like both. Yeah, I can't decide. Anyway, love this monster. I can't, dude, I can't. Okay. Alright. I'm calm now. So we got Fire Succubus here. Looking at her stats, she's an attacker. She has a good attack stat, and pretty good HP as well. And her defense is alright too. Looking at her skills, she has HP Siphon on 3-star. It is crit required. Skill books do give it a 10% boost to the amount it heals, and also a 15% damage boost. So which would still increase the amount she heals, because the damage boost would be increasing how much damage she does, which would in turn increase the amount of healing she gets. So overall, very good. And then on 5-star, she has 100% defense down on crit, which skill books do bring that up to 3 turns on crit, and give a 20% damage boost as well. The fact that it's all crit required is okay, because she is an attacker, so you're going to want to build her with crit rate anyway. It just means that options without crit rate aren't useful, won't really do anything, but you're going to want to build her with crit rate so she does more damage anyway, so it's not too big of a deal. And she does have Super Evolution, which we will go look at that. Which Super Succubus is amazing. There's the chibi form and the waifu form, which, yeah, that's a thing. Looking at the stats, her stats actually aren't that high compared to other Super Evolutions, but that's okay because her skills are really good. Her HP is alright though, 3,500, and her HP is good as well. And her defense is actually higher than other attackers, I think. Let's compare with Fire Wildfang. So their defense is about the same. Overall, Wildfang does have better stats, but Fire Succubus does have a different sort of utility because of the defense down on her 3-star. I do have one that I have fully built, of course. I have built up all the Succubi. Here's my fire one. She's on Ruin. Attack, crit rate. Though I know one of the gems is a 5-star. One of the attack gems. Yeah, there we go. But it does give a lot of crit rate, so it's fine. And her trinkets are maxed out. They are 4-star rares. There you go. And here's her overall stats. Over 8k attack, which is really good. She does a lot of damage. Where you can use her? Well, where I use her specifically, I use her PvP offense. She's a staple in my team. My PvP offense team is Light Succubus, Fire Succubus, Fire Indra, and Water Onmyoji, which I do switch mons around depending on my opponent's team. Like, sometimes I'll swap out my 2 fire mons for, like, wood mons if I'm going against a full water team or whatever, or a team with a lot of water mons. But that's besides the point. She is really good for PvP offense. Also very good for GB9 and DB8. I use her in both of those places. Well, not so much GB9 just because I don't farm GB9 anymore. But if I were to do it, I would use her there because she's amazing. With high crit rate, she can do very well. Unlike Wildfang, I don't think she can solo the dungeon just because she doesn't have HP Siphon on her 5-star. But still, she's very useful there. Still very useful. I'd also use her for... Well, I also use her for Wood and Dark Colossus. Because of her HP Siphon on her 3-star, she's very good for Dark Colossus. being able to heal herself. I don't use her as the Mon to take the Retribution. As I said in the Odin video, I use my Odin for that, just because Odin has overall more bulk than she does. So that's why I don't have Succubus take the Retribution, but she's there to deal damage and also heals herself, of course. Wood Colossus, she's there just to deal damage, and that defense down is helpful as well. And you can also use her for farming, just like general story content. If you don't have like good fire farming mons, she's very good for that. Though she's not the best, of course. Like something like Fire Jin would be more ideal, just because he has SP morale boost on his 3-star. Sorry, but she can be useful for that. And then lastly, you can use her for Titans as a damage dealer or as a backup defense down mon. My Fire Titan team isn't super great, so I do have to use my Fire Succubus in that. And she hits anywhere between like 2 to 3 mil, which is amazing for a non-CS mon. So there is that. Overall, I think she's an amazing mon, and I realized that I forgot to talk about her leader skill, which is Grace of Life. It's HP. It's just a general, any content, HP boost for 30 to 35%. So that is another thing to note. Which it's good anywhere. It's good for Titans, PvP. Not so much for farming, just because for farming you want like crit rate or attack leads or something like that. But it's still alright. Now we will move on to Water Succubus. There you go. Here's the variant. I do like the variant more, but they're both very nice. Their colors pretty much just switch. Like for the variant, the boots and gloves are blue, whereas the wings and hair are black. But for non-variant, the boots are black, wings and hair are blue. Oh, the gloves are also blue, just a different color. Okay. Anyway, looking at her stats. She's a tank. She has really good HP, good defense as well for a tank. Her attack is okay, but it's not super great, but that's fine because damage isn't the #1 priority for her. Looking at her skills, she has a morale boost on her 3-star. It's 50% on crit. That crit requirement is pretty shitty, but we'll get to that in a moment. Skill books do increase the damage, however, by 25%. And on her 5-star, she has attack down 60% 2 turns. Skill books do bring it up to 75% 2 turns and give a 20% damage boost. So she is having a 50% morale boost on 3-star is amazing, but that crit requirement makes gemming her a bit more annoying, just because you have to focus on crit rate and resist for the most part, because the place you're going to want to use her most is PvP defense, but because you need to build her with crit rate, you're going to be losing out on some stats, but that's okay, because she is very versatile. Here's the Super Evolution forms, and here's the looking at the stat boost. Her HP again, really good, just got to 40k, and her defense is also very good for a tank. So her stats are good, so it's okay that she does have to have a crit rate gem. Just make sure that that crit rate gem has very good sub stats. So you're going to want to have a lot of HP or defense subs in there with some resist as well. Where you would use her, as I said, PvP defense. Offense is good too, of course. I hate to speak about it and to promote it or whatever, but she is a very good candidate for Pugilist gems. Just because that morale boost, especially for crit rate Pugilist gems, since you don't have other mons that you'd want to put them on usually. So she's a good candidate for that. So you can do that. Personally, I don't like Pugilist, so I don't do that. But just saying, the option is available to you. Other things that you can do for her. She can be good for farming. Her attack isn't super high, but you can build a crit rate attack, and she can be good for farming because she'll get her 5-star fairly often because of it. So there's that. And also for Titans as well, just as a backup attack down if you don't have any attack down mons yet. Though, of course, she isn't the best there just because her attack down is on her 5-star and not on her 3-star. Her 3-star is kind of useless for Titans, So I wouldn't recommend using her there. Pretty much I would recommend using her for PvP mostly. And we will go look at mine. Where is she? Oh, there she is. Okay. So here's mine. She's on HP, defense, crit rate. And as you can see, besides that crit rate gem, there's some pretty good stats there. She does have max resist, and her crit rate is only 77%, which sucks. It needs to be higher, because her 5-star is useless without crit, of course, and crit resistance will bring that down. So she probably has, against a mon that has fully upgraded trinkets, she probably only has like 60% crit rate, or less even. So that's not too great, but it's usable, I guess. Here's her skills fully booked, and here's her stats. Notice it could be better if she wasn't crit required. That's the only thing holding her back, but she is still pretty good. So I definitely recommend using her if you don't have good water mons for PvP defense. Next we will go on to wood. Now I should note that wood is the worst of the succubi, though she's not terrible. It's just that dark does what she does better. Looking at the design, I really like the variant more. Yeah, I like the variant more. Looking at her stats, she's a balanced type, she has good HP, and her attack and defense are okay, though I do wish that they were a bit higher. But that's okay, because she does have super evolution, so they will get higher. Looking at her skills, she has sleep, 60% 2 turns on her 3-star. Skill books bring it up to 75% and give a 20% damage boost. On her 5-star, she has shield breaker, 100%, and skill books give it a 30% damage boost. And it is really her 5-star that holds her back. Shield breaker only has one use. It's only useful in one place in the entire game, that being Fire Colossus, which Fire Colossus would do a lot of damage to her because he's a double hunter or something like that, or double predator. I don't remember which. So she's not super useful there. She used to be useful or Shieldbreaker used to be more useful for TOC, because there was a floor with that Fire Cure that did have the shield, which was very annoying, but they did nerf the TOC and got rid of her. So Shieldbreaker isn't very useful there. So yes, Shieldbreaker overall is just really holding her back. She is one of the mons that I always put suggestions for changing her 5-star for when 433 has the balance patch pulls. Looking at the super evolution stats, very Halloween-y, actually, looking at the design. So Halloween-y. I love it. But anyway, looking at the stats, she has a much better HP, and her attack and defense also get pretty good as well. Now I'll show mine. Mine is in storage because I don't use her. Where is she? Oh, actually, I think I took her out of storage. Yeah, I took her out of storage to see her skill book values, and I don't think I've remembered to put her back in. So yeah. Here, where did she go? There she is. Okay. So here's mine. I took the gems off. I did have gems on her before. I had her gemmed, I think, attack, HP, maybe? I don't remember. The reason I boxed her is just because Dark Succubus does what she can do better. Her sleep on her 3-star is okay, and that's what is useful about her, but because she has Shieldbreaker, it just really hinders her a lot. We'll get more into sleep when we get to Dark Succubus, because there is something that I want to talk about that a lot, so we'll get there soon. But overall, for Wood Succubus, you would pretty much use her for PvP and TOC just to abuse the sleep, because the Shieldbreaker is useless, and I would build her like attack, HP, or attack, crit damage. I would build her offensively, and we'll get into why when we get to Dark Succubus, because I do want to talk about sleep when we get there. But until then, we have Light Succubus here, and Light Succubus is one of the best mons in the game in terms of PvP. Here's her variant: regular, variant, regular. I like the variant a lot. Looking at her stats, she's a tank. She has pretty good HP and good defense as well. Her attack is low, but that's fine. She does have super evolution, so all these are going to be increased. And her attack being low isn't too bad just because you don't really need her for damage dealing. Looking at her skills, she has morale boost on her 3-star. It is a 10% allies SP, so she does heal fill the SP for your team. Very good support, which is very nice. And then on her 5-star, she has adrenaline, healing allies HP by 10% of her own max HP, which is really good. Skill books do increase the morale boost on her 3-star to 15%, so really good for helping fill up your bars on PvP. Also gives a 20% damage boost. A 20% damage boost, and then 5-star gets a 25% damage boost from books as well. We will go over to the super evolution menu just to look at her stats real quick. And then after that, we'll go look at mine. So here's light. Here's the chibi form, the regular form. Looking at her HP, it is really good. Her defense is also really good as well. I think her stats are lower than water. Yeah, that's fire. Yeah, her stats overall are lower than water's, but that's fine because her skills are a lot more useful. We'll go over to mine real quick, which, as I said before, Light Succubus is a staple on my PvP team. This is the Succubus that I use. She is triple triangle, which was actually pretty hard to get good gems for, but as you can see, she has 75% resist, so I did pretty well. Trinkets were very helpful for that. I have mine built HP. Look at that attack sub. HP, and defense. The reason you can also go triple HP, and that would be really good for her heal on her 5-star. It would definitely do a lot more, but with HP defense, she is more survivable. So there is that. Here's her stats after everything. Her attack actually did get pretty good because of that attack sub and some trinkets. So, which I forgot to show off the trinket, so here we go. This is a 3-star because this was before I learned that 3-star rares were about the same as 6-star commons, and so it was after this. I put trinkets on her like she was the first mon I put trinkets on, so we didn't yet know how good certain levels of trinkets could be. But I do definitely need to replace those, which would increase all of her stats, of course. Where you would use her, PvP, mostly. Offense or defense works. I use mine for both, which she is very good for her leader skill there. She's good for filling up your team's SP bar. She's very good for healing them. Other places she's good for is GB10. She's good there for a solo light tank, which would also be helpful with farming because of the SP and the heal. And she's also good for DB6 if you want to farm that. You can get some square gems there for the Dragon Dungeon. And overall, she's good for farming in general. Not because she will be doing damage or anything, but because if you don't have like SP siphon sets yet, she can help fill up your team's SP bar so your attackers can get their bars full quicker and speed up your runs a little bit. But she's not super useful there once you get siphon sets, so keep that in mind. Mainly, you're going to want to use it for PvP, and you're going to want to build your HP defense, or HP, with a heavy focus on resist subs. Honestly, I really want to get her resist all the way up to 85, which will be hard. But, you know, who knows? If I get a better attack trinket to put here, it could go up a lot. So, there's that. Next, we will go off to Dark, the last of the Succubi. And let's find her real quick like. Where is she? I hope I didn't pass her. Oh, I didn't. Here we go. So here's Dark Succubus. Looks very cool. Very cool. I like the regular more, actually. Think about it. Mine, I think, mine is a variant, but I do like the regular more, based on the design. Anyway, looking at her stats, she's a defender. Her defense and HP are both really good, and her attack is pretty good as well. Looking at her skills, she is double sleep, 80% 2 turns on 3-star. Books bring that up to 90% and give a 25% damage boost. And on her 5-star, it's 80% 1 turn. Skill books bring that up to 2 turns and give a 20% damage boost. We'll go over to her super evolution stats real quick before I talk about, and I'll show off mine first before I get into my discussion on sleep. Here's Chibi, and here's Waifu. You can see her stats, of course, get better. They're very good overall. Very good stats. And let's go to mine real quick. Here she is. In case you want to see her, there you go. There you go. She's a variant, level 6 variant, so I was very lucky with that. I am working on skill books. I'm almost done, just need 2 more. And here's her gems. So, hear me out on her gems real quick. Now, mind you, these gems don't have good substats. I do need to work on that. But attack, attack, attack on Ruin. The reason for that, because even though she's a defender, sleep, while being a CC, and people commonly see that as something that you'd want to see on your defenders, like your PvP defense mons, because of sleep's free crit that it gives you, personally, I think it is better for offensive mons with no crit rate. So, because she's a dark mon, she has base 100% crit damage, and she has really good defensive stats. Her defense and HP are really high on base. So with Dark Succubus, I would build her triple attack or attack crit damage. That's pretty much all I would go with for her. You can build her defensively, HP defense, HP defense, and just put her on your defense teams for PvP. That is useful. That's definitely useful. But you won't be really abusing the free crit that you get from sleep, since you won't be doing much damage. But with an offensive build, you can use her on PvP offense, or in TOC, on the floors where you need CC. And because she gets if she puts them on to sleep, the next turn she hits them while they're still asleep, she gets a free crit. So you don't have to build her with crit rate. You can build her attack crit crit damage or triple attack, and she'll do a lot of damage to that sleeping them on, and then potentially put them back to sleep so she can do even more damage again on the next turn. This would work really well in teams that have a lot of sleep on it. So if you have like Wood Succubus, Dark Succubus, I think Wood Flora is double sleep. Fire Hannah has good sleep on her 3-star, I think. So if you have like a full sleep team, you're just getting like crits after crits after crits, and you don't have to build any crit rate at all. And this is something that I still haven't fully got working yet, just because I don't have a lot of sleep mons. So I haven't got to fully test it out, but it is something that I think has a lot of potential. But of course, if you don't have a lot of sleep mons, you can just build her defensively, so HP defense or HP defense, and just put her on your PvP defense team. She'll be there just spreading CC, which is really good. Without books, that 80% 2-turn sleep is good for just general CC. But yeah, overall I think she's better. Overall, I think she has more potential for an offensive team just because of that free crit. If I were to prioritize the Succubi, though, Light is definitely first. Then I would go Fire, Water, Dark, and Wood. Reason for this order, Light Succubus is amazing, and Fire Succubus is very good for offensive content, and Water is third. Water would be second if she didn't have that crit requirement. Dark is next, just because Sleep doesn't have many places it can be used. Besides TOC and PvP, there isn't really anywhere else it's useful. And then, of course, in PvP, there's Resist that you need to pay attention to, so Sleep isn't super great there anyway. And the reason Wood is last is just because she is a worse Dark Succubus. So I really wish she gets her 5-star changed eventually to something else, so So that would make her a lot better. But until then, she's the worst of the Succubus, though of course not a bad mon overall. Anyway, that is it for the Succubi. Overall, one of my favorite mons in the game. I absolutely love her. I use my Fire Succubus pretty much everywhere, everywhere I can. Just overall a great mon. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Have yourselves a good day, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.